In a world where pride and false self-awareness have become the norm, most who claim to be confident are actually just fragile actors, easily broken and exposed. But what if I told you that true confidence is real and unwavering, a silence, an invisibility, and almost a dangerous phenomenon? Today, we will uncover the very trait that distinguishes those who merely pretend to be confident from those who truly possess strength. Confidence may be the most counterfeit currency of our time. You see it everywhere in voices that speak too much, in hands that gesture too widely, in social media that scream for attention. But what you observe is not confidence. It is a desperate attempt at makeup. It is fear in a costume. It is a performance begging for applause. True confidence, the kind that bends kingdoms and dominates people, does not seek to be noticed. It is invisible because it does not need validation from others. It does not announce itself. It simply exists. In my time, the loudest people who always went first fell the hardest. They were united by their own noise. They thought that confidence meant controlling the room, but true masters understood something entirely different. The person who controls the room is not the one who speaks. It is the one whom everyone watches in silence, not knowing what he will do next. You see, strength is not in presence. It is a mystery, and confidence, when it is genuine, carries the same quality. It is quiet because it is full. What is full does not need embellishment, an audience, or applause. The one who is truly confident does not shout about his victories. He does not wave his opinions like flags in a crowd. He simply walks, like one who knows the outcome long before others even realize the game has begun. This is the distinction between an actor and a strategist. An actor needs a stage. A strategist builds one. Ask yourself this question. Have you ever seen a lion explaining that he is dangerous? He does not speak. He simply moves, and everyone else reacts. This is the essence of invisible confidence. It is not expressed in words, but it is undeniable. It resides in a person like a loaded weapon, invisible until it needs to be drawn. Now listen carefully. The person who speaks less in the room often holds more power than the one who runs it with words. It is the silence combined with presence that creates anticipation, and anticipation breeds caution. When others are cautious around you, you control the situation. This is confidence, not the control of a dictator who shouts, but the control of a chess master who makes one move and waits. And while others bustle, panic, and overestimate their strength, he observes. When you understand this, you will see that the confidence of most people is merely noise used to mask emptiness. The more they speak, the more you see the cracks. The more they play, the greater their need for recognition becomes. But true confidence does not experience such hunger. It is, like a confident state, self-sufficient, self-reliant. It does not need approval to exist. Let others boast about their achievements. Let them talk about every little success, thirst for praise, and strive for rewards. Meanwhile, you quietly build something of your own. Because one day, unexpectedly, you will arrive not with a speech, but with results. And then they will remember every moment of your silence. Every time you said nothing while they shouted. Every time you were overlooked, believing that their noise signified superiority. And when your actions come to light, they will seem sudden. But you will know that they were carefully prepared in silence. That is why confidence is invisible, because it is based on what no one else can see. Preparation, discipline, clarity, and the ability to act without needing recognition. You do not rise by showing the world what you are doing. You rise by doing it so well that it is impossible to ignore when it is all finished. You let silence speak until the result thunders. This is what truly confident people understand. This is what Machiavelli observed in every lasting ruler. And this is what you must learn if you want to move unnoticed, strike without suspicion, and win without even announcing that you are playing. An ordinary person believes that power manifests through force. He thinks that dominance must be expressed loudly and immediately. When threatened, he reacts. When praised, he boasts. He believes that his strength lies in being unyielding, his tongue, his fists, his pride. But he does not realize this. The most dangerous creature in any room is the one that does not react. Power is not weakness. It is mastery. It is not the absence of strength, but absolute control over it. Remember the unskilled person who uses it carelessly. He flails, he cuts, he shows it to everyone, but the master holds it back until the perfect moment. He does not threaten, he simply waits, and when he strikes, it is final. This is the essence of restraint, not suppression, but timing. Confidence is in holding your strength, not because you fear using it, but because you know exactly when it will inflict the most damage. A person driven by impulses is easily provoked. Call him a fool, and he must defend his name. Ignore him, and he will demand attention. Challenge him to a fight, and he will battle on your terms. But a person of restraint cannot be moved. He cannot be rushed because he is not reactive. He is calculated. In courts of principle and in the politics of power, I have watched countless people destroy themselves by acting too quickly, too emotionally. They believed that acting fast meant acting strongly, but what they lacked was the discipline of delay, the ability to hold back not forever, but until the moment of greatest advantage. Because one action is not enough for victory. A precise action taken at the right moment brings victory. Imagine someone publicly insults you. They are waiting for your fury. Your name is put to the test. Your pride is wounded. What do? If you react instantly, you confirm the insult, allowing them to dictate the terms. But if you say nothing, if you simply smile, nod, and walk away, you will sow something far more powerful than revenge. You will sow fear, because now they must wonder. What is he planning? Why did he not react? What does he know that I do not? And in that silence, in that pause, you gain the advantage. This is the tactic of every ruler who remains in power. They do not react to every whisper. They do not fight every insult. They conserve their strength like a royal guard, spending it only when a return is guaranteed. A person without restraint is a puppet tied to every emotion, every hurtful word. They think they are free, but they are slaves to provocation. A person who possesses restraint first governs themselves, and by governing themselves, they begin to govern others. Those who cannot control their instincts cannot be trusted with influence. They may rise quickly, but they fall even faster, because the world knows how to press their buttons. They have no protection, no shield. They are vulnerable. But a person who possesses restraint is unpredictable, and unpredictability is invulnerable. Because you never know when they will strike, and more importantly, you never know what they are thinking. Silence can be interpreted in 1,000 different ways. Inactivity is a message written in the fog, and this uncertainty is a weapon sharper than any sword. True restraint is not indifference. It is a conscious decision. It is the ability to bite your tongue until the right moment. It is a smile to your enemies while you slowly and discreetly dismantle them brick by brick. A composed person does not need to be the loudest in the room, because they have already decided that the room does not matter. Only the result matters, and when the moment comes, when they finally decide to act. This is not a reaction, it is a conclusion. The simplest way to identify a weak person is not through their silence but through their behavior. Watch them. They cannot sit still. They are impossible to ignore. They cannot bear the thought of invisibility, so they shout, they show themselves, desperately trying to attract attention. They must boast. They must perform. They must broadcast every achievement, inflate every gesture, showcase every drop of worth. Why? Because deep beneath the mask of pride lies a trembling need for validation. What they cannot find within themselves, they demand from the world. You will see them in court. You will see them on the streets. You will see them online today more than ever, adorned with symbols of wealth, cloaked in borrowed power, starving for recognition. He speaks not to inform, but to impress. He argues not in search of truth, but to defend the illusion of dominance. And the louder he becomes, the more fragile he seems to those who understand what true power is. There is a particular tragedy in a person who tries to convince others of their confidence, because confidence that needs to be proven is not confidence at all. In my observations of princes and pretenders, I have noticed one pattern. Those who boast the most about their greatness are the first to break under pressure. When a crisis strikes, they seek applause instead of strategy, and when threatened, they turn to spectacle instead of judgment. And why? Because their strength has never been internal. It was a costume they wore while the crowd approved. Strip them of their audience, and they will collapse. Understand that insecure people, slaves to perception, do not live by strategy but by reaction. Their self-worth is measured by external approval. If they are not admired, they feel erased. They are dependent on attention. But a truly confident person is ready to remain unnoticed because they do not need the spotlight to affirm their strength. They bring their own. Pay close attention to how insecure people speak. Their words are full of self-reference. I did this. I won that. I was the first. I deserve this. I am the best. This is not language. It is armor. Yet they are forced to wear it because they feel vulnerable. But their armor is loud, and loud things easily become targets. True confidence is not a costume. It is not in the voice or the bravado. It is in comfort. Comfort in the realization that you do not need validation. Comfort in the understanding that you may be underestimated, ignored, even ridiculed. And you will still come out on top because the outcome is in your hands, not theirs. An insecure person needs witnesses. They need someone to see their victory. Otherwise, it does not count. But a confident person needs only results. They do not waste energy trying to impress. They are impressive in themselves and know it. And that is enough. This is why, in politics, war, and love, insecure people take unnecessary steps. They push too hard, talk too much, demand too often. They cannot calmly endure uncertainty and compensate for it with aggression. But this aggression is not strength, it is vulnerability. And as soon as they are exposed, you can stroke their ego, and they will follow you. Challenge their pride, and they will react predictably. Ignore them, and they will start to pursue you. They are not leaders. They are reactors. But confident people do not chase after anyone. They attract. They do not declare their worth. They take a position where their value is obvious without words. For power never truly belongs to those who crave to be noticed. It rests in the hands of those who can walk away, those who can sit in silence while others fight for attention. The loudest person in the room rarely pulls the strings. They are merely a puppet. They are always in quiet hands. The world lies to you, whispering that confidence is a mood, an emotion that you must conjure every morning before the mirror. But that is a fantasy for the weak. Confidence is not something you feel. It is something you manage. It is not a state of emotion. but a state of mastery over yourself, over others, and over the situation. Truly confident people do not ask themselves, "Do I feel strong today?" They ask, "Am I in control?" Control over their words, their bodies, their environment, what others see, and what they will never see. You might think that confidence comes from believing in yourself, but that is only partially true. Faith without control is a delusion. A fool may believe they can fly, but when they jump from a tower, reality decides otherwise. Control means knowing the truth and still holding the reins. Confidence is built not on fantasy, but on precision. You control your impulses, and others see you as composed. You control your expression, and others see you as wise. You control your time, and others call you strategic. But none of this happens if you cannot manage yourself. The world is not governed by the frantic, but by those who know when to act, how to speak, and what to reveal. Confidence begins with discipline. Discipline to speak less than you know, to wait longer than expected, to remain calm while others fall apart. When you do not show urgency, they begin to listen. When you do not respond, they start to doubt themselves. This is control. This is confidence. Those who rely on motivation are slaves to their moods, but a confident person acts regardless of feelings. They move according to a plan, not impulse. The people I have studied, kings, top executives, merchants who built empires, were not always the most charismatic. Many were cold, some were taciturn, but all possessed one quality: complete self-governance. When insulted, they measured their silence. When provoked, they guarded their pride. They never allowed the moment to dictate their response. They dictated the moment. People confuse confidence with ease, but true confidence often feels like strain, because it means resisting your worst instincts. It means smiling in the face of betrayal, shaking hands with rivals, sitting calmly during storms, because you decide when to strike. Not emotions, not fear, not ego. And so, confidence must be built, not wished for. Build it in how you speak, with clarity, not noise. Build it in how you walk, not quickly, not slowly, but thoughtfully. Build it in what you do not say, in what you do not show, in what you hold back. A confident person does not need the room to change for their confidence. They adapt to the room and then shape it from within. He does not need immediate dominance, because he knows that control is gained gradually, not seized in chaos. He can sit at the table across from his enemy and offer wine, not because he has forgotten, but because he calculates. Not because he forgives, but because revenge is most satisfying when it is under control. Confidence is not in proclaiming one's worth. It is in the realization that your worth is inevitable when your work, your mind, your name, all of it, is too significant to ignore. You do not need to shout. They will feel your presence even before you speak. They will anticipate your decisions even before you move. And they will adjust to you because they sense that you are in control, and they are not. That is why most people pretend to be confident, but crumble when conditions change. Their confidence was a costume for fair weather, but truly confident individuals carry control like armor. Through chaos, through doubt, through betrayal, what they control remains untouched, not themselves. And by mastering themselves, they inevitably master the world around them. Now you understand. Confidence is not a loud proclamation. It is the silence before the strike. It cannot be found in noise, attention, or display. It resides in steadiness, remaining unseen until the moment becomes yours. Confidence is not in improving one's strengths, but in never needing to do so. Those who are truly confident do not chase accolades. They do not explain themselves. They observe, they wait, They shape the battlefield before others even realize that war has begun. They do not react. They manifest. They do not overcompensate. They hold steady. They do not seek control. They are control. Confidence is not a costume. It is a presence. It is a state of being. It is preparation, discipline, restraint, and time, worn so close to the skin that it becomes invisible. And when the moment arrives, when action is required, they act without hesitation, without doubt, without noise, because they have already won long before they moved. And the world discovers this only after it is too late to stop them. This is the confidence of kings, conquerors, those who rule in silence. This is the confidence that Machiavelli admired, not the one that demands attention, but the one that bends reality without ever raising its voice. Welcome to true power. Now learn to wield it.